friends, I'm here with Dr. Arriel Cymone, and this woman is impressive. Her nickname is Sales Assassin, so I know what she has to say has to be impressive. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce you to my friend, Dr. Arriel, so she can let us know what is going on. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Arriel. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day. Of course, I ask everybody this just so everybody knows everybody. We're all on the same page. Tell me a little bit about who you are and how you got to be who you are.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Arriel Cymone, as you said. I am by education and training and the majority of my career an analytical chemist, turned sales executive, turned life coach. And it's just, and under that umbrella of life coach, it's not just life, but it's also career, business, maybe some dating. And also tutoring for math and science. So
Nice.
I do a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. Like your profile was so striking and intriguing to me because you're a lady of science and like higher thinking, and you're like using this higher thinking skills to help Cupid play the game of love. So I was like, this is an interesting woman right here. I have to talk to her. I have to ask how, first and foremost, I feel like, I don't know about everybody, but I can at least say for myself, I did at one point feel the calling of life coaching. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like, I think I could be a life coach. I give people really good advice. What exactly is life coaching? Because I feel like people don't necessarily understand what this term is.
So I would define life coaching as a field in which you help people construct a path for them to live the dream life they deserve or to live their best life. So regardless of what that starting point is, the life coach's responsibility is to help take all of that and create a roadmap so that person can live whatever it is that they have idealized for their life. In a nutshell, that's what I would consider life coaching.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really simple and easy way of explaining this. I feel like a lot of people, when they hear these things like a dating coach or a life coach or a financial coach, it's like kind of a little bit ambiguous because these are things that when you're a coach of something like this, it's more than just the subject. There's so many other things that these things touch. So I think that was a really great way of saying that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I have to ask, you talk about you started your life kind of with chemistry. How did that happen? How did you kind of say, enough of chemistry, I want to venture outside of the world of science? Like, what's the story behind that?
So in chemistry, I love the lab. I still love it. And I still try to incorporate that in my life as much as I can, even through the chemistry tutoring that I offer. But it got to a point where I felt like I had maxed out my potential in the laboratory. And my last laboratory role, I was customer facing. So I was actually able to go out, visit customers, and onboard them to our new laboratory, the toxicology part of our lab. And I loved it. I'm like, oh my gosh, because typically in a lab, you're over there in the corner in your own little world. But with that last role, to be able to interact with people, interact with customers, I really enjoyed that. And so I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to transition my career now from lab to a more customer facing role, which was sales. And so, as you know, sales, that's all we do. Everything is centered around the customer and client. So that's kind of how that story went.
I've got to ask, you talked a little bit about some of the programs you offer. Can you dive into that and give us a description of that and, what that looks like? I know you mentioned tutoring, but what else do you do?
So I have 4 additional programs. So one of them is called the Rise Up and Reign. It's define your dream, discover your destiny, build your dynasty. So I developed that particular program for aspiring business owners or for people who are like, okay, what is this thing called life? What am I here to do? So it's really taking what that dream is for your life, tying it into what your purpose here is, and actually building your dynasty. And when I mean build your dynasty, build your business from scratch. So I help with all of that using my sales and marketing skills. The success I've had in my career with that, I tie all that into that program. The other one is Hoda Housewife. That one is the tagline for that is the dating blueprint for every single woman who is sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I pull from that program. I pull from my own personal experiences. I've even made an amazing workbook to go along with that program. And it's really helping single women who desire to be married or who want to date Mr. Right, just really focusing inward on yourself and really developing yourself so that you can attract that right person and have a healthy, fun dating life. And the other one is Get Out and Snatch Back Your Power. That one is for anybody who's experiencing toxic workplace. It's really getting your interview skills and your resume ready to get out of that toxic workplace environment and finding a career that you love. So I help build your resume from scratch, help you with your interviewing techniques so you can land that dream job, and also help you with interview questions so you can gauge whether that next place you're thinking about going to may have a toxic work environment. And the other program, in addition to the tutoring, is called the Ugly Cry Breakthrough. That's my healing course. So that's the one that you really spiritually and everything just really kind of detox and heal from the things that could be holding you back in life.
Yeah, of course. One of the things that you said that just stuck out to me just now is I just felt like I heard the whisper of like entrepreneurship talking to me when you were like describing some of your programs. How did you feel the calling of entrepreneurship in yourself? Like, how did you come to this path in life? And what are some of the steps you give your clients to kind of get on the same path?
So I would say the entrepreneurship, it first comes with recognizing your gifting, what it is you're gifted at. Like the things that come natural to you, the things that you get so easily that everybody else has to work so hard to get, you get it naturally. I think that's your first sign is, you know what, I do this easily. I love to do it. How can I incorporate this into a business that can help others using my own natural gifts? And yeah, you could do that in a workplace, but there's no freedom like starting your own business to really maximize your potential in your gifting and really to create that tone and environment and work culture that you want for yourself. So I would say first, finding out what it is that you love to do, which is your own natural gift, and monetizing that with using your gift to help others.
We talked a little bit about what a life coach is. I want to ask you, as a life coach, what is a personality trait or characteristic people have to make life coaching successful for them to use this type of a skill?
Yes. Well, the first and foremost thing is you have to have a natural care for people. Like if you're just doing this just to say, hey, I'm a life coach, just to make a paycheck, you're going to quickly plummet because you have to naturally care for people, be empathetic, non-judgmental. You have to really want to help people be better. I don't know how you could teach that. I just think that it's something that's innate. And if you have that quality in you, then you have a recipe to be an amazing life coach.
What would you say is one of the most important reasons why life coaches are successful in helping transform people's lives?
Because they have the ability to take wherever that person is in life and say, hey, you know what? You came to me for a reason. You came to me because you want to live your best life. Let's take exactly where you are and where you want to be, meld those two together and create a roadmap that is healthy and fun for you to really walk up that path. So a successful life coach is able to take any place where a person is and put them on the track to where they want to be.
This is one question I ask everybody I talk to. What is one hot tip or hot take you would say for getting people to take control of their lives again, what is one thing you would say is an absolute must they have to do?
That you have to be intentional. You have to want, like, if there is something that you want in your life, which I would imagine that all of us have a certain idealistic view of how we want our life to be. The fact is, you have to know that, first of all, it's possible to get that. But in order to get it, you have to be intentional. So the main tip I would be is define what it is you want and be intentional about getting it. If you don't know how to get it, hire somebody, find somebody who knows how to help you get it and go for it, because it is life changing to be able to have what you want in life. Like, nothing compares to that.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. Like, I love that. Intentionality is so true. I totally believe that. I have to
Absolutely.
ask, what's on your calendar for the next year? What projects are you working on? What can we expect from you? What's going on? What can we look for?
Okay, so I am planning a conference coming up. It's centered around my Rise Up and Reign program. That's the Define Your Dream, Discover Your Destiny, Build Your Dynasty. Because I know a lot of people have that desire to go into entrepreneurship. So I really want to equip people and empower them to be able to excel in what they want for their lives. Also, I plan on teaching additional courses, even having some free courses centered around entrepreneurship and really defining what it is you want for your life, whether it's a better career. So I plan on teaching courses around that. And another course I plan on teaching too is regarding sales, because sales is an art. Like, it's not as simple as it seems. So how can you sell a high ticket um, offering that you have, where people, even though it may be a high ticket, but there's a way to sell it that you can make it profitable. So I also plan on teaching a course around sales.
Do you feel you have a calling to teaching, or what is the difference, would you say, between teaching and coaching?
I do. I have a calling for both teaching and coaching. So teaching is the relaying of information in a way that people can understand easily. So you can take something very abstract, like chemistry, for example, and break it down to where anybody can understand, like, oh, really? Like, oh, okay. So that's teaching, to be able to relay information in a way that people understand it and accept it. Coaching is, I would say, another step to where it's more it's teaching, but it's also like a cheerleader. You're coaching that person on, like, rah rah, you can do it, keep going, don't give up. You're stronger than you think you are. So it's teaching plus the cheerleading aspect of it. That's what I would say the difference between teaching and coaching.
Absolutely. I have to ask, I think you touched a little bit on this, but I would be shooting myself in the foot if I didn't ask you, how do you take all of your life experience from chemistry and sales and, infuse it into your brand with Concierge Coaching Lab? Like, how are you doing this? I mean, you're such a unique woman. Hearing your story, I'm just so like fascinated hearing like your life and your journey and all the little tidbits you've shared with me. So how are you doing this?
So yeah, I've gotten that question a lot, actually, because on paper it seems like these are all three completely different career fields. But the one thing that they all have in common is that you're providing a solution to, like, for example, in chemistry, I provided a solution to a problem. I'm given, let's say, a substance. I don't know what it is. So my job is to find out what it is. So now I've got a solution to an unknown. Sales, it's the same thing. What makes me so effective and successful in sales is not that I'm just like, oh, here's this item, buy it. No, I'm actually presenting a solution to a problem. And it's the same thing in coaching or life coaching. I'm helping you create a solution to whatever it is that you want for your life so that you can live your best life. So they're actually all related in the fact that I'm providing a solution to something that needs to be solved. And in addition to that, the chemistry aspect of the coaching, like I have on my website, is like in the laboratory, we mix things up. That's the same thing in the coaching. We mix up all the amazing things about you and extract all the things that are holding you back so that you can propel forward to live that best life that you deserve.
You still wear a lab coat.
I do, of course. I'm a chemist at heart. I gotta have that lab.
Perfect, perfect. How can people get connected to you, sign up for your services, see your social media, find out what you're doing day to day so they can benefit from having you in their life?
Absolutely. So on Facebook, it's Arriel Cymone, ARRIEL CYMONE. My website is www.arrielcymone.com. And my email is moi@arrielcymone.com.
Nice. Awesome. Perfect. Dr. Arriel, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. I know you've got a crazy schedule with running a laboratory. I mean, hello, like you are a busy lady. So thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to tell us about how we can take control of our lives and just be stronger, chase that dream of entrepreneurship, and so much more. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you loved that exclusive conversation with Dr. Arriel, be sure and download the free Odyssey app today. That's AUDACY inside the App Store, and make sure you follow Star 94 Atlanta. Of course, you can stay up to date with me and all my exclusive conversations on all my socials at itsme_Alyssa D. That gets updated probably weekly. So make sure you give me a follow. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, give me a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and I'll hit you guys back. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.